My concern is that we implement this and it looks great on paper, but we don't actually have the resources to pull it off. Or perhaps we don't have enough teeth to really make a difference. So can you give some assurances about both of those issues? Are there enough teeth in this ordinance, and how do the resources spread out?
I feel pretty confident that we definitely have enough teeth in this. We were looking at the ordinance, and we'll probably come back and tweak some of the county sections sometime within the next 6 months or so. But I definitely think we have enough teeth. As far as the resources, Phil's doing a great job. Actually, other people are assisting him. He's not working alone out there. I think that we're doing well. It remains to be seen, because some of these complexes, you know, you can spend literally half an hour. We thought we were going to be at this place all day, and we were there half an hour. And then other ones that surprise you because they look pretty nice on the outside, when you start getting inside and finding no smoke detectors and illegal wiring. So it's probably something that we're going to have to really get into before we can, you know, say how we're doing as far as resources. But I feel like we're going out there with a good start.
We'd like to come back in 6 or 8 months and give you a report on the number of inspections and how we feel it's going. I'm going to monitor this very closely, because I don't want it to be a burden to the general fund. But I also think this will happen. Remember the first time we did a facade project on Folsom Boulevard? We got on our hands and knees and planted grass and flowers and painted a building, and we turned around and the neighbor was doing it, and the neighbor down the street was doing it, and pretty soon another business was upgrading. This is going to do the same effect, I think. They're going to see that we're out there, that we're proactive, and then, you know, it's a business that's competitive, and people are going to go to where it's safe and clean. And so I think we're going to set examples. I think that this business community can be rational, and there are a lot of good operators out there, and I think this is going to be an example, and I think they will monitor themselves, and it'll just change. But we will monitor this to make sure it's not a burden, and come back to you in 8 months with the status report.
We don't have anybody signed up to speak. I am ready to make a motion.
We do have one speaker card, and I do need to read
We'll open the public hearing at this point.
Read a voicemail that was left for me as your city clerk into the record. Young lady by the name of Joyce left a voicemail that she wanted to register a telephone objection to this item. Her objection is for frivolous use of taxpayer dollars, and the issue, she feels the issue should be dealt with on a complaint basis, not by an ordinance. And the other speaker card I have is from Corey Kaler on this item.
Sure.
Welcome,
evening, Corey.
Hi. Good evening. I'm Corey Kaler, representing the Rental Housing Association of Sacramento Valley. RHA is a professional organization representing nearly 85,000 residential rental units in the Sacramento Valley region. Our industry is comprised of thousands of individuals, rental owners, property managers, maintenance employees, and others who strive to provide quality housing at a competitive price. Many of these individuals are watching the meeting tonight. All of us are committed to ensuring renters in the neighborhoods where we live and work do not suffer from substandard rental housing conditions. In fact, RHA holds nearly 200 education courses a year at our training facility, educating owners, managers, and maintenance personnel on how to manage their rental properties in accordance with the highest industry standards. I want to thank your city staff. On this issue, they have been very open throughout the process, asking our organization for input, and even taking several major components from a model inspection ordinance we developed. It has been very refreshing. As the council considers this inspection program, I want to highlight just a few issues. First, the cost. Many of the rental inspection programs implemented throughout the state have caused dramatic spikes in the fees charged to rental owners. Fortunately, city staff plans to implement the program using existing fees charged, as well as obtaining grants and funds collected from non-compliant owners. We want to ensure that the costs are contained and that the costs are borne to the greatest extent possible by those who have substandard housing. We also want to minimize the impact that these fees have on the overall market, because adding those additional costs will likely be passed on to renters in the form of higher rents. Second, inspections. During our meetings with city staff, we have emphasized the need to distribute the detailed inspection checklist that will enable owners, managers, and the renters to know exactly what code enforcement officials are looking for. Third, education. We appreciate the fact that city staff has been working with us to help educate owners and managers about the new program. As I mentioned, we held nearly 200 education classes. Of course, we're not done with the year yet, but we held nearly 200 education courses at our training facility this year and are committed to providing training courses for owners and managers about the details of the program, including what city inspectors are looking for. Finally, I want to talk just real quick about self-certification. Mayor Sander, you asked about, sort of the hammer for the non-compliant owners and the carrot for the good ones. One item you may want to consider as part of this program is that those owners or properties that pass the initial inspection by city staff, perhaps the council wants to consider whether allowing those properties or those owners with those properties the ability to, on an annual basis, certify or self-certify their properties using the city inspection checklist. This property would reward owners with compliant properties and would likely lower the overall cost of the program itself. As an organization, we look forward to continuing our work with city staff, and I want to thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. There's a question for you, Corey, if you want to come back up. Vice Mayor Budge.
No, we do appreciate the amount of work that your organization does, and certainly in trying to guide its industry in a positive direction. But do you have any feel for how many of the owners that our staff is dealing with are members of your organization?
We could, I don't. I wouldn't want to hazard a guess. I can tell you those slides up there, I'm fairly confident that those slides aren't from RHA member properties. But certainly we have the large apartment communities are managed by RHA member owners and managers. As far as your single-family rental homes, your duplexes, your fourplexes, and that, I simply do not know. But clearly there are a lot of members in Rancho Cordova. To the extent that the city is dealing with problems at a RHA member property, I don't know.
Does one have to be a member of your organization to attend the classes?
Absolutely not. In fact, what we have done, we have set up what we call our anti-slumlord campaign, and we solicit contributions, voluntary contributions from our members each year. This year, we had a budgeted amount and a goal, and we have reached our goal this year of raising over $10,000 for that campaign. And what that campaign does is that helps pay for free courses for owners and managers, and we provide that as a public service. We work with a number of local jurisdictions, including yours, as this program gets rolled out, to provide free training for owners and managers on all the standards that they need to comply with. We also have a number of fee-based courses that you don't have to be a member of RHA to participate in, but we reduce the cost a bit for our members. And we have property management classes that are reasonably well, as far as the fees that are reasonable, but everything from property management, maintenance, fair housing, we do just about everything. You've got a question about it, we can help you answer it.
Great.
Can I?
Is that for me?
Corey? Something I just want to convey on behalf of our city. Of course, a few years ago, when I was mayor, we sat down in your office over on Lathrop Way and talked about the rental housing issue. And so we've made a lot of progress to get this ordinance here tonight. And it sort of brings to mind a quote by FDR during the depths of the Depression, when he is remembered for saying, we have to do something. We can do the very best we can figure out at any given moment. And if we have to change it, we can change as we go along. And I sort of think that's the urgency in our city to stand up on behalf of achieving compliance with state law for our residents in this vast 11,000 rental units in the city, And on that, I hope as your members look at what our city is doing tonight, you'll kind of have that in mind. And particularly because I think we kind of bungled with a business license program affecting your members and when the timing of the fees. And as you will recall, your members brought to our attention that there was some problems with the way the idea was conceived and implemented. And I think we worked to kind of make sure it was adjusted and implemented in a fair way. And I think that's sort of the spirit in which we're trying to take a great step forward. We're trying to do the best we can at any given moment. And if we need to adjust it as we go forward, I think you and your members know that that's been our approach. And I hope that you would convey that. This is a red letter day. It is a day where really the biggest quality of life improvement for the broadest section of our residents is here before us tonight. And the promise of the night is very great. And so it becomes execution. But it's a great evening. So I again, on behalf of all the members, thank you for your leadership, and just remind your members that they've worked with our city, and we have shown flexibility as events shed light on how things are getting implemented. They can expect that here.
I appreciate that, and we do feel like we have a good partnership with this city. As I mentioned, the process was very refreshing. We have always been very active in terms of being part of the process. If you're going to impact the industry that's our profession, that's our livelihood, all we have always asked is to be part of the process. And I think that as we experienced early on, we all learned some lessons early on, but we've developed a very good partnership, and we'll look forward as this thing rolls out and evolves, working with your staff and with the council on this. So,
Thank you very much.
thanks.
Who's next?
Next speaker is Frank Campa.
I guess I can go along with everything